guys, welcome back to my video. In this video we're going to be discussing some secrets that my mom handed down to me, and I want to make this a tag so anybody out there, mature beauty community or non-mature beauty community, anybody that wants to pick this tag up is more than welcome to pick it up from me. And I hope that we start a discussion on how our mothers influenced us as far as beauty was concerned. So I'm going to go ahead and create this tag, and it's basically 5 beauty secrets my mother told me. So if you guys want to go ahead and do something like that, I'm not going to tag anyone individually because I think that lends so much pressure on the individual to actually do the tag. So I'm not going to actually point fingers, although I can, but I'm not going to really announce certain, beauty gurus go ahead and tag you and do it, because, we all have our schedules, and you might not want to do it right now. You might have other things planned. You might want to do it in the spring or summer, but whatever. If you want to do it, go ahead and do it. All right, so I will start. So the 5 beauty secrets that my mother told me. Number 1, and not in any particular order, just to let you know this. It's not like top, ranking or anything, but these are the 5 that came to my mind, when I think of my mother, who, by the way, she did pass away about 15 years ago. And I remember like it was yesterday, watching her, of course, in the hospital, and she was in a coma. How absolutely stunning and beautiful she was. Obviously she didn't have makeup on. Obviously her hair wasn't done. She had tubes stuck in her, but her skin was radiant. There was not one wrinkle on that woman's face at all. And she was 64 years old when she passed away. So by that I tell you a lot. She did not look 64 at all. Maybe not even 54, seriously. I think I look older today at my age than she did at her age. So by that I tell you everything. All right, so number 1 secret. Number 1 is water or hydration. She was a big advocate of having water with lemon, usually a little bit of a warm water or room temperature water, first thing in the morning, almost with breakfast. She called it her hydration and her maintenance in the way that it kept you kind of regular or something. She said, oh, you get your vitamin C. She always was very much into vitamin C. You get your vitamin C, you hydrate first thing in the morning, you get that vitamin C in you. The water keeps you regular, and she was a big advocate of that. So that was first thing in the morning. But then throughout the day, if we went anywhere in those days, she would order Perrier, or she would order some sort of Evian water or bottled water. She was a huge advocate of bottled water. She was the first one that said, oh, I want filtered water, this, that, the other thing. I have my qualms about that, only because a lot of minerals do get eliminated out of the water if it's not, something kind of natural. Or I like spring water, but in those days, I guess you just bought purified water. But that was a big thing. Keep yourself hydrated at all times, because it's very, very important. All right, number 2 on this list is she used to tell me alcohol ruins the skin. Now, she was not a drinker. I barely ever saw her take a sip. She would take a sip of champagne for New Year's Eve. That was about the only thing I've ever seen her drink. She did not really have wine with her meal. She never touched a bottle of beer that I ever saw. And obviously she was not into heavy liquor at all. No martinis, no cocktails, nothing. And that was her choice. Everybody has a choice. I'm a little bit more of a drinker than she is. I do have my beer. I love my beer with my meals. I don't go overboard. I do love a good bottle of wine with certain dinners, not every night, obviously. And I will have an occasional martini cocktail, and usually around the holidays is when I you know, I'm socializing with everyone, and I have my limits. I won't overdo it, but I'm a lot worse than my mother ever was. My mother just was not into drinking at all. She always claimed that she didn't like the taste of it. And B, I think she really, really was very serious about her skincare. And one of the things that she said was, I can, and this is a quote from her, I can always tell a woman that drinks by her skin. And by that she meant the skin was not radiant and the skin was puffy. She could always tell through the puffiness of the face, especially around here, and especially, you know, the cheek areas and the eye area. For some reason, you got this droopy kind of, you know, eye kind of thing. I don't know. She claimed that she could tell. And I always remember that, because I'll tell you something. If I'm having some of the drinks, especially around the holidays and things like that, let me make sure that I'm in focus here. Yes, I am. I always remember her because I can tell in my face now. Obviously, I'm sensitive to the fact that she told me this. So I can tell on pictures or videos, especially like with YouTube and stuff, if I was having some beer, or if I had, you know, some wine or a cocktail a night or two before, and then I videotape myself, I can tell the difference between my face from one video to the next of the one I drank, you know, the night before, and the one I haven't had any alcohol for a number of days. And it's one of the things that I've noticed that, and I'm very sensitive about now, is that if I know that I'm going to be shooting a number of videos or anything, I will make sure that I'm drinking my water religiously, make sure that I'm hydrated, and I am going to curtail or avoid alcohol for those couple of days that I am shooting on the videos, because I really think every little bit helps, and I want to present myself in the best way that I can. And honestly, I can tell. Plus, I don't sleep that well. If I'm drinking, you know, you don't get, you know, your 8 hours or whatever. You have a restless sleep. You might not realize it, but you do. I mean, at least I do. Number 3 was her thing was smoking will give you wrinkles. Now, again, you know, not to judge here or anything, I never smoked, probably because I'm very sensitive to every type of smell. I'm kind of allergic to smells, so I can tell, I'm like a bloodhound. I can tell smoke or any type of fragrance or anything, like from the next room. It's crazy. It's hours later I can tell if someone was in that room based on their perfume, or if there's some smoke or anything like that, residual smell, I'll know. Okay. And so I've never smoked. My mother never smoked, but she used to make mention of, you know, women that we knew and people that we knew that were heavy smokers. And in the 60s and 70s, a lot of people were heavy smokers. I mean, it isn't until recently that we really understand the health, you know, consequences of being a smoker. Now, when it was in the 70s and 80s, it was, you know, and 60s, it was stylish to smoke. It was, you gathered for social gathering, and a lot of people smoked, or even in the 50s. I wasn't around in the 50s, but, you know, she was, and she said a number of her girlfriends always smoked and all that. And apparently she could see the, you know, the dryness and premature wrinkling of their skin, especially around the eye area and around the mouth area, the smoker's wrinkles around the mouth, from chronic smoking. So more than anything, she avoided even being around people that smoked after a while, or being in a room with smoke, because she said it could get into your skin regardless of if you're inhaling it or if you're just around that environment. So that was number 3. Number 4 is some fat is okay on your face. meaning she ate healthy. She was not a big proponent of the gaunt, again in the 70s, the twiggy look, the becoming very, very, very gaunt and skinny because of fashion. She foregone, whatever you want to say, fashion in lieu of healthy skin and healthy features and a healthy face. And being Hungarian, she made mention of a very funny quote from Zsa Zsa Gabor. Zsa Zsa Gabor was on one of these shows. I don't know which one. It was one of the talk shows, one of the nightly talk. It might have been what's his name? Now I can't remember his name. Oh my God. Oh, Johnny Carson. I don't know if it was Johnny Carson or if it was the other one that was really popular in the 70s. I forget his name. But anyway, she made mention one time that she goes, darling, she used to say, darling, a woman at a certain time in her life has to make a choice between her face and her figure. And she said, you can't have both. If you have a skinny figure, your face is going to be too gaunt and shallow and pale, and you're not going to look good. If you choose your face, then you have to understand that you're not going to be skinny, and you're going to be pleasingly plump, and that's fine, And she said, I'd rather have a bigger derriere and have beautiful skin than have a horrible face and look skinny. And she just brought down the house. It was hilarious. Everybody was laughing because and that was her choice. She wanted, she was never, she was bosomy, she was curvaceous, she was very lively and energetic, and her personality just bubbled, and she was just hilarious as far as her, demeanor and everything. But she made that conscientious effort, and in those days, they didn't have Botox, and they didn't have all these fancy lasers and laser therapy and injections and rejuvaderms and all this other stuff. I mean, you basically had your creams, and you had, your diet if you were really into eating healthy, and then if you wanted to stay away from alcohol or smoking, which I don't think she smoked or even drank that much out. I mean, again, I see in her movies she drank, some champagne or something, but she wasn't a heavy drinker. But she made that conscientious effort that, if I have to choose between looking good and plump and nice, not hollow-cheeked and not sunken-eyed and looking firm and healthy in my skin versus having a few extra pounds, I'll go with the few extra pounds. So, and that's everybody needs to, have a choice. You do you, like I always say. So I'm okay the way I am. I'm seriously, I'm not into I'm into eating healthy, and I'm into just having a good lifestyle and not stressing about the day-to-day. It's not a race with myself is what I want to say. I'm not competing against myself or anyone else for that matter as far as my health is concerned or what I should or shouldn't be eating. So I'm good with what I am. Okay, and then number 5 is beauty rest or beauty naps. My mother was a very big proponent about taking your afternoon, siesta is, how you call it. But in Europe and where she was brought up, especially in Budapest, and of course walking around, we used to travel around Italy and Spain and everywhere else, that place shut down. You had nobody on the street in those days. We're talking in the 80s when I was traveling with my mother. Restaurants closed, businesses closed, people went home from their day job. They took a long lunch. They took a little snoozy, and then they woke up around 3-ish, 4-ish, and literally went back to work till later on. Something unheard of in our culture. We just slam dunk those 8 hours of work or more that we need to get done. We never stop running around. We're like little, rats in the little maze. We're never, or the little hamsters in the wheel. We don't stop. We barely get enough hours at night. I certainly push hard to try to get my 8 hours. Some days I make it, some days I don't. There's a lot of times I don't. I just wake up, I'm checking social, I'm going to the bathroom, I hear a noise downstairs, someone's just come through the front door, there's always something going on. So my sleep interruptions are vast. And I always remember my mother saying, you need your beauty rest or you're going to just look like crap the next day. And it's true. It's true. First of all, I'm non-functional the next morning when I wake up, and I haven't had more than, like 4 hours of sleep or whatever. And second of all, I can see it. I can see the luggage under my eyes. I can see the huge luggage under my eyes. I can see the dryness of my skin. My skin is definitely dehydrated the next morning. I look, I look years older. And she always made mention that if we ever went to a party or a gathering or a social event, or she went out to the theater, obviously, she would religiously take those naps. She would religiously, all lights out, curtains drawn. She had blackout curtains. Let me take a little sip of my water. Speaking about hydration, because I've been talking to you guys so much. I put these little flavored drops in them. They're so good. So she would religiously draw those curtains. She had the blackout curtains, and she would set her alarm so that she had enough time to get up and do her makeup and get ready for whatever event that we were going to go to. But she was, boom, done, out. And, she told me to do the same. Now, sometimes I would have other things to do. I would read quietly in my room, for example, or watch TV very quietly. I wasn't always that great about taking my naps, but honestly, I tried my best. I would try to nap as best as I could if I was accompanying her to an event or something, And then later on, of course, when I started working, that kind of went out the window, and I didn't have an opportunity to, you can't nap at your desk. You can't do a nosedive into your keyboard, so that's not going to work. You can't really, I can't even imagine telling my boss, oh, by the way, I need my beauty rest now. I'll be back in a couple of hours. I'm just going to go to my car and put down the seat and take a nap, and then I'll be back like around 3 p.m. and blah 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 and do the rest of my day. That's not going to fly in Peoria. So that's it. That was the 5 that I wanted to share with you guys. I hope that you found this little chat valuable and maybe take a little kernel of advice or suggestions. Again, whatever you feel like doing, and let me know in the comments below if your mother has told you any beauty secrets and what they are. Maybe they're the same as my mother told me, because same generation, probably grew up around the same time, so I think we all are around that era where they still had, like I said, the smoking and drinking and all. There's so many things that they didn't know then that we know now that of course we try to avoid. So yeah, that's all I've got to say. I love you guys very much. Please give it a thumbs up and share this video with anyone that would like to have this type of information. Don't hesitate to share it around, because that pulls my rankings up, which is a really good thing. And please subscribe if you haven't. I hope that you do subscribe to my channel, because you do get notified. If you hit the little bell notification, you will get notified each time that I put up a video. So I'd appreciate that very much, and have a blessed day out there. I hope that everyone is healthy and happy and with their families and going around town and doing their shopping and stuff like that. It's nighttime here. It's actually, the sun is down already, so I've been doing some editing and you know, working on videos. So it's been a long day, but I'm getting ready to do my dinner and cook dinner for the family. So blessings to everybody again. I love you all, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.